how many of you guys want your spouse to be on a fitness journey with you, your spouse to be working and building the lifestyle that you want and move in that direction with you? That's what we're going to dive into in this video. I'm excited to dive in because people talk about balance all the time, but I don't think that balance really exists. But I do think that optimization exists, and real optimization comes from alignment, getting all of your people, all of your desires, everybody moving in the same direction. And I'm excited to dive in today because when you are in alignment, the stress comes down, your happiness goes up, and all your results go up, and life just becomes worth living. So, if you guys are new to the channel, I'm Jeremiah Sullivan. I was a bottom 1% person in the military, and then I turned my whole life around. I became a top 1% person, and I was an Army Ranger. I became an infantry commander. I have 4 deployments overseas, and I got out of the military after running 100 miles in the Colorado Rockies, and chose to live my purpose of building leaders, helping people become their best selves. And now I'm on YouTube doing these YouTube videos. But my whole goal is to bring everybody else up. Like, I'm going to keep pushing myself. I like to say that I'm not a guru. I'm in the arena with you. I'm not one of these guys that likes to try to act like they have shit all figured out. I'm just sharing the knowledge that I've gained and continue to push myself so I can share more knowledge with you guys. All right. So for today's video, I'm doing I have the Desert Duels Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competition coming up on September 27th. And this is, I'm doing a weekly recap of last week's training, and I'll dive into how it went. I'll dive into the topic that I discussed earlier, which is getting your family in alignment with you, getting your family on the same fitness journey as you, so that you can bring that stress down and be happy in your marriage and in your just in your life, man. So I'm right now currently parked outside of the gym. I drove to the gym this morning, and normally Sunday I come out to the gym and it's just Jeremiah time. But as I was getting up this morning, my wife was like getting ready, and I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "I'm gonna go to the gym," and I was like, "Let's just go together." She's like, "No, you don't have to wait for me, And she's like, "I'm just gonna do my thing." But point is that Sunday she normally just rests, and I thought it was pretty cool for her to want to come to the gym with me on Sunday. And it just kind of shows that what I'm going to speak about today is, I have results in this area of getting your team in alignment. If you have a big business, but you don't have a successful marriage, man, that's a tough spot to be. All right. There's no judgment. I don't have any judgment. I don't have a perfect marriage. I don't think that's even possible. But I will say that I wish there were more conversations around how to have a successful business and marriage at the same time, because you could be crushing it in your business, but be miserable at home. And that is a horrible place to be, man. You'll feel empty at home, and so you'll try to fill yourself up at work through higher achievement, influence, impact, and but still feel so empty when you get home. So I really, truly, from my heart, want to help you guys feel whole, and I want you guys to feel good, and I want you guys to be not just happy with your careers and your business, but your life, So I'm gonna go in the gym, I'm gonna get my workout in. I'll record some clips for you guys. I'm gonna get some training in, and my wife is in there working out, and she's gonna hit the sauna. But I'm excited to dive into today's topic, and then I'll do a video when I get back to the house, and we'll close it out with how last week's training went, and share the knowledge, share the journey with you guys. And also I'll reveal, something, basically the biggest obstacle that's in my way from actually going through with this jiu-jitsu competition. I have an obstacle that is in my way that might stop the entire thing and make me a huge failure. So I'll dive into that in this video. Let's get it. So I work with a lot of people, right? And a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, and I've seen a lot of different high performers struggle because they were crushing it in their business, but struggling at home. And I've seen people trapped in their marriage. I've seen people, like literally for not just trapped, but like the same. Not to go into people's. I'm not going to go into people's details, but like that same cycle of getting married, having a problem, and divorce over and over and over again. And that, like, I know I've seen what it does to people. I've seen the confidence that it drains from people. I've seen how being misaligned, not being in a marriage that you're happy about, how it destroys people. And the cost of not fixing your marriage is your life. The price of not fixing your marriage is a wasted life. You will waste your life just, and trust me, I'm not speaking like I said, like my shit's perfect, but I've had cycles and seasons in my marriage where it was draining. It was like, fuck man, what's going on with this problem, you know? And the biggest thing that I learned, one of the biggest things I've learned about having a misaligned marriage is that it always comes down to you. It always comes down to self. I am always the problem. And the person that cannot take responsibility is the person that will never, ever fix the problem in their relationships. If you blame the other person all the time, you are the fucking problem, dude. Because here's the thing that I asked myself that really shed some light on how to get what I personally wanted in the relationship. Instead of telling myself and asking myself, how do I get what I want? I asked myself, who do I have to be in order to get what I want? And I'm gonna dive more into this in a second, guys, but this is gonna be a great topic for all of us. And you get what you attract. You get who you are. So take inventory. And man, it's so true. You might be asking, like, why the hell should I listen to you about this topic? Okay, that's probably. I mean, I would be thinking that. And I'll say this is that you don't have to listen to me. First off, like, if it doesn't make sense to you, don't listen to it. Like, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I just really want to share the things that have worked for myself so that you can get the benefit. Try them out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I just know that, like, I'm not a relationship coach, but I can pass along the wisdom that I've gained as a business owner, as a high achiever, as somebody that's done less than, I've done top 0.01% shit in my life. Okay? So I know what it's like to be a high performer, striving for excellence, striving to get all the areas of your life mastered, and the frustrations that come along with not having the things that you want and want to experience. So, if you want, so that's where this comes from. Now, they also say, like, don't take advice from people you wouldn't exchange a life with, right? Like, a lot of you guys will get fucking relationship advice from the people that have been through multiple divorces, multiple marriages, and it's like, you can learn what pitfalls to avoid from that, sure, absolutely. But if your mentor is telling you how to be successful in their relationship and they don't have results in that area, like, I would definitely be questioning how you're, I would protect, I would make sure to ask them very specific advice, like what not to do. Don't let them give you bad advice, okay? So my advice comes from, and my wisdom, it's not even advice, it's wisdom. My wisdom comes from 20 years of being with my wife. Well, 18 to 20, somewhere in there. I met my wife in Iraq at 20 years old, and I'm 39. We've been through deployments together. We've been through building a business together. We went through my military and her military service together. And we've been She put up with me when I was going through my drinking. She stayed with me through that, and she worked with me as I worked on that problem in my life. We've both had our fair share of personal issues, and we've worked through it together. And now we're here in the gym. She's over there doing her cardio, and she's going to hit the sauna. And I didn't ask her to come. I mean, that's a huge win for a relationship, isn't it? If you guys can go to the gym together and neither one of you is forcing it, that's a huge fucking win. So how did we get here? How did we get to 20 years in, close to 20 years in our marriage, in the gym on a Sunday, working out at 7 o'clock in the morning, while having a business, while being strivers in life, while both of us growing in a different way? We're not one of those. My wife likes stability. My wife likes humor. She likes fun. She likes entertainment. I'm very, type A, driven. We're going to do this. And she's driven in her own way. But she likes things like anime. She likes movies. She likes fantasy. So we're yin and yang in a lot of ways. And that is not one of these relationships that you see online. A lot of people, they have these relationships online where both people are very masculine and very they're both working on the exact same business and taking that business to the next level. We are not like that. We work together, and she works in the business, and I help her with her business. We go back and forth and we share, but we're two individuals living individual lives, sharing a life as well. So what I want to say to you guys is just that, how did we get to this result where we're training together, working together, and together for over 20 years, right? Which the military has a high divorce rate. And that people talk about the importance of communication, but I don't think it's just communication. I think that what really brings a marriage together is just putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and in a way that helps you understand what they need in order to get themselves to do the things that you're trying to get them to do with you. So in other words, like maybe you guys have you're in a marriage and your wife treats you like shit, right? Maybe she yells at you. Maybe she belittles you. Maybe she literally just nags you all the fucking time. And it's like, she might not be able to change. That is a truth. But let's take a look at what we can control, which is if she can change, who do you have to be to get her not to be that way? A lot of people, not just women, but they act out because they're not getting what they want. And you might think that that the reason why you're not acting the way that they deserve is because you're not getting what you want. But that's where the problem starts. That's where the relationship problem starts. Is you being in a vacuum, meaning your thoughts to yourself. You're not getting what you want. You're getting frustrated about it, and you distance yourself, and you live in those thoughts over and over and over again, which your partner feels. Your partner feels it when you're in your head. Your partner feels it when you're distant. Your partner feels it when you decide to go bury yourself with work because you think that getting a result at work, getting more money at work, is going to help you guys live a better life. When in all reality, they don't really want more money. They just want your presence. They want your focus. They want your attention. They want to sit with you and laugh and not feel stressed out. They want to tell you that they have something going on with their day and to feel like you heard them when they said it. Like, so the person that you want in your relationship, you want your wife to be attracted to you. You want her to compliment you. You want her to join you in the gym and go do things with you. But who are you showing up as in the house? Are you all work and all business? And when you're with her, you're not even present. You're not even seeing her. You're talking about all the other things that you do. This is the core of the problem. It's you living in a vacuum, you being so focused on what you want and where you want to go that you're completely missing them, completely missing what they're going through, and expecting them to meet you with where you're at. With me? So how do you fix and get it in alignment? Well, you stop thinking about what you want and you start thinking about who do you have to be to, like in life, and it works like in personal development. You take on what you put out. So if you want a loving relationship, you want to take that on. You have to put it out in advance before it shows up. Okay? And some of you guys, what's going to happen in your life is if you have a problem in your marriage, it's not because, like, there's a big problem. It's because if you have a big problem in your marriage, not because you have a big problem. It's because a bunch of small shit went unresolved for a long time. And now you dug yourself a hole and you have a big hole, a big problem. A big hole doesn't get dug with one shovel scoop, right? It gets dug by a bunch of tiny little shovels. So, telling your partner that, maybe you're going through a separation or something like that, and telling your partner like that you want to fix it and work on things is a wasted fight. What you need to do is start fixing the hole that you dug. So maybe you actually fucked up. Maybe you let yourself go. Maybe you turned to drinking, turned to food, got complacent, got fat, withdrew for yourself from the marriage. Maybe you are the one that isolated and pulled back out of the relationship because you had something happen in your life and they said they wanted to leave you and you're like, no, don't leave. And I'm going to get my shit together and I'm going to fix myself. Instead of convincing them to stay with you, get to fucking work. That's what I had to do when one of the reasons why I dropped my drinking is because I knew I was going to lose my marriage. I didn't tell my wife to stay with me. I just stopped fucking drinking. And that's what caused me to start making progress, not only in my marriage, but also in my life. I got a better life out of it. I always tell you guys, man, your level up is going to come from what you give up, not what you got to do. So after all the years that I've coached, I've done coaching for 6 years, and I've developed leaders in the military. So I've been, my business is people. And I will tell you the number one reason why people drink alcohol and eat food and get fat is because they're missing something in their life. They feel something inside that is it's just tearing them apart, and they're trying to get rid of it. They're lonely, so they eat. They're lonely, so they drink. And if you have a partner that you're with, and they drink, or they're heavy, they're fat. And I've been that too. I work out hard, so my fat has looked a lot different. People would say, oh, you still looked in shape, but I looked disgusting at times in my life where I was drinking and eating just like complete shit. Like I looked like a gummy bear, And during those times of my life, I was missing. I didn't like the way I felt when I wasn't doing those things, when I wasn't eating, when I wasn't drinking. And instead of addressing those problems, I continue to consume. So if you have somebody that you're with that is not showing, like they have one of those problems, drinking or food, you need to ask yourself, what are they missing? What are they not feeling? Or what are they feeling that's causing them to consume like that? What are you not providing for them emotionally that's causing them to turn to those things? Now, like I said, some of it is on them. You can't fill everybody's hole. That's not your job. But are you making it worse by withdrawing? Are you making it worse by isolating, by focusing on work, by being demanding, by telling them what to do versus digging into what they're actually going through? So, man, deep shit today, right, guys? So, bringing this all together is that if you really want to get more happiness, fulfillment out of life, and get your marriage in alignment so that you can feel like this balance, balance is alignment, right? When you get everything underneath one umbrella, you're going one direction. You love your work, you love your home life, and everybody's moving on in one direction. You have one mission, and it doesn't feel like work. You're just perfectly flowing. That's balance for me. And what I've learned over the last, 20 years being a high performer, high achiever in a committed relationship is that it's not going to be perfect. And like I said, I want to keep hammering this over and over again, is that my shit has not been perfect. But the number one thing that I have learned is that if I want to change my relationship, I have to change me. And I'm continuing to work on this, because every 5 years or so, you're a different type of version of yourself. If you're a striver, if you're an achiever, you keep working, you keep improving, and so you have new blind spots. And I'm even going through this in my life right now, guys. That's why I'm sharing on it. And that's why I'm so passionate about this topic, is because I have a relationship. I've realized recently, I've come to grips with that I have a relationship problem in life, not with my marriage, but in my platonic relationships. I don't have strong relationships like I want. I have good relationships, but not to the level that I want. I want to be a person that has a community, and I have not done that. And a lot of it is because of my own issues, my own traumas, my own self. And so I'm addressing that for the first time and working through it. And it was only recently when I found out that I have PTSD, and I've been addressing that I've uncovered why my relationships are the way that they've been. And I used to just think that it was, I used to just think that my relationships it was just normal. But I used to think that I didn't really want a lot of relationships. That's not the truth. The truth is that I felt like I couldn't have them, and I was talking myself out of it. And now I'm realizing I can have them. So I'm going to be working on, this is an area I'm obviously working on with you guys in real time. And the way that I've gotten some progress and some results in my life is in my marriage. So I'm sharing that wisdom with you guys. And hopefully we and you can connect at another level, because I'm sharing this stuff with you. The last thing I want to say, guys, is that if you want to work with me one-on-one, if you're a business owner and you want to get in alignment, you want your marriage, you want your business, you want your life all to be moving in alignment so you don't feel burnout. Burnout goes away when you're in alignment. When you're happy, when you love the work that you're doing, you're growing, and you've dropped your bad habits, you're disciplined, you like the man that you see in the mirror. If you want to work with me one-on-one, go over to Instagram and DM me alignment, and we'll talk about what that could look like. You can also click the link for my website, www.conqueracademy.com, and it's a landing page that offers help to men and high performers that want to respect themselves again. If that's you, you guys can come on over there. Listen, it's a premium program, so you're going to pay a premium price. All right, you got to be ready for that. So I'm not going to bullshit you and mislead you or anything like that. I'm going to keep it real. So you got to be ready for the price tag. But I will pour into you like I pour into these videos, and I will give you my best. That's my promise. And I will transform you. You do the work, I will transform you. Just go look at my results. I have so many different case studies, but I will still keep helping you guys through these YouTube videos. I just understand that some of you guys need the next level. And ChatGPT is not enough for you. You need real interaction, real accountability. You need a real person to talk to. And you probably don't even know what to ask ChatGPT, to be honest. You're not even asking the right questions. This is the kind of stuff that you need. So hit me up there if you guys want to talk more. And at the end of the day, I just want you guys to win. All right? Hey, I'm going to finish up this workout, and then I'll see you guys at the back end when I do the recap on how last week went. Hope you guys liked the video so far. Make sure if you have not smash the subscribe button, make sure you guys do. Give me a follow. And yeah, I'll wrap this up in here in a little bit. All right, guys, gym session complete. Hey man, so that last week, here's where how training went. Is you guys know I'm dealing with a rib injury. I'm pretty sure it's a fractured rib. This rib, the floating rib down here, it like pops. It pops out when I twist. Sometimes when I breathe wrong or sneeze, it'll pop, and it's been excruciating amount of pain. So I've been popping ibuprofens like off and on all day, and so last week's training was it was just cardio and weights all week, man. I actually stayed off of jiu-jitsu last week because I would rather go in healed, or at least be able to do the competition than push myself and further injure it. And then after the first week of the injury, it was getting worse. So I said, all right, I got to pull back, and it was tough to do that, you know. So I basically kept up with the training, I trained in ways, you know, this is where a lot of people mess up, is that they forget that your body can heal and train at the same time. You can train and grow and heal at the same time. You know what I mean? Like if I have an ankle injury, I can train my upper body and the ankle is going to heal. So just because you have one injury in one spot of your body doesn't mean you have to like opt out completely. So I'm big on sustaining momentum, and that's what I focus on. As an added benefit, taking some time off of jiu-jitsu last week, man, my energy is way higher. I feel like hungry for like competition, you know. So that's pretty cool. That's a nice little benefit. Because when you train your ass off, you start to kind of get in those states where you're mentally drained and you're like, man, I don't even know if I feel like doing this shit. But then once you get that juice back, you start foaming from the mouth, and you're like, oof, I'm ready, bro. So oh fuck, like that just popped. So basically, the game plan is to ride this week out, and meaning I'm going to go into jiu-jitsu a couple of days and see how my rib holds up, and if it's worse afterwards, I'm going to make a decision by this week. I thought I'd be able to decide last week, but I'm going to wait one more week and decide this week on whether or not I'll continue with the jiu-jitsu competition or whether I'll have to pull out. So that's what's up with training. So last week was really just weight training and cardio. I got to get some good runs in. I had some of the best runs I've had in like probably, I don't know, maybe a year, because my training volume was down and my recovery was up. So my speed was just, I was like cutting like butter out there on those runs. And I didn't take Epic last week because Epic, my dog, his paws ripped. So it was just me out there. But that's how last week's training went, and it was an unfortunate thing. But my mindset around the whole thing is that when I have an injury, I'm going to keep showing up until the last minute. And with every goal, that's always helped me. In the Rangers, I almost quit several times on my path to becoming a strike force Ranger platoon leader, which was a specialty assignment. I almost gave up. I almost said, dude, I'm not going to get this job. I'm not going to get this to lead a special operations task force and go do the cool guy mission. And I almost quit. And I said, you know what? I'm going to keep pursuing the dream. I'm going to keep going for this strike force job, and I'm going to keep serving and being the best leader possible until the military pulls me off the path. And wouldn't you know it, 3 feet from gold, I got the assignment. So with every goal, it's like the 3 feet from gold story is that everybody stops 3 feet from gold. Like there's a fable about a guy that buys a gold mine, and he starts digging, and he starts looking for gold. And as he's digging, he puts a lot of work and a lot of time in. And one day he just gets so discouraged and so defeated that he says, screw this, I'm selling the gold mine. So he stops digging. He sells it. He sells it to this guy number two, let's call him. Guy number two takes over the gold mine. He starts digging 3 feet past the point where the previous guy stopped. This new guy number two, finds gold. So the whole thing is, don't stop 3 feet from gold. Even if you got an injury, stop at the very, very last minute if you have to. I was coaching one of my guys. He's running the Pikes Peak Ascent. And I'm like, dude, just show up for the race. Commit to starting the race. If your injury still exists when you start, then you can go ahead and opt out. But mentally force yourself to show up until the gun goes off. And you'll find that your body, it'll start getting its shit together. And 9 times out of 10, you'll be able to complete the race. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. You know, we talked a lot about marriage and alignment and balance. And, you know, you hear it all the time in personal development. Like, the world is not as it is, the world is as you are. And if you are not getting what you want in your marriage, in your relationship, it's going to come down to working on you. And by the way, there's going to be situations where you're going to work so hard on yourself, you're going to realize that you're not in the right relationship anyway. You're not in the right relationship for the version of you that you created. But if you're in a relationship that you desire, that you love, that you appreciate, and you know that it's just that you want this other person to grow alongside with you, look at the tools that I gave you in this video. Like, start thinking about what is it that they are missing that you might not be providing. Okay, and that doesn't mean to sacrifice your well-being. Like, it means to be. I heard, like, Dispenza said this one time. He said, what would love do? Like, how would you show up if you had infinite amount of love and you knew what you wanted? You would show up a certain way with this person. You would have a clear standard, a clear timeline on when you expected things, and you would uphold that standard, and you would uphold your love through that timeline. And if they didn't rise to your expectations and you knew deep down in your soul you were doing all the right things, you would part ways out of love, not hate and animosity, and you'd go your own way. So I'm not sitting here saying that every relationship you need to salvage, but I am trying to hammer home the point that what I have learned over the last couple decades in my relationship is that when I have an issue in my relationship, the issue is me, and I need to work on what I'm giving out, how I'm showing up. Am I being vulnerable enough? Am I communicating enough? Am I being loving enough? Do I have my agenda, or am I putting myself in their shoes? All right. So Carl Jung once said that until the subconscious becomes conscious, you'll continue to, like, basically you'll exist in a way that you think is fate, which means that until you understand that you have subconscious habits that may be destroying your relationship, you focus a lot on work, you withdraw, you isolate when you're stressed out, these subconscious habits may be pulling you away from your relationship and destroying your relationship. And until you become aware that these subconscious habits exist, you're going to continue to think that you're just not destined for a great relationship. And that's not the case. We just need to become more aware of ourselves, and then we can close that gap. Appreciate you guys all, and we will see you in next week's video. Conquer all.